You know that moment when you are staring at a pile of bills, feeling your chest tighten, and wondering if there is actually a company out there that can help you breathe again? What if I told you that choosing the wrong debt relief company could make everything worse, but choosing the right one could save you thousands of dollars and months of stress? And what if the difference between the right one and the wrong one comes down to a few simple clues that most beginners never notice? Stay with me, because in a few minutes, you will know exactly how to avoid the traps that catch most people and how to choose a company you can finally trust. Number 1. Understand what debt relief really means. Before you even think about picking a company, you need to know what debt relief actually is. A lot of beginners confuse it with bankruptcy or some magic trick where your debt suddenly disappears. That is not how it works. Debt relief means getting help from a company or service that works with your creditors to lower what you owe, reduce your interest, negotiate settlements, or organize your payments in a simpler way. Think of it like hiring a guide when you are lost in a huge forest. The guide cannot remove the forest, but they can show you the safest path out. Example, if you owe $10,000 on credit cards and you cannot keep up with the payments, a legitimate debt relief company might negotiate with your credit card companies to reduce the amount to something like $6,000. This doesn't happen instantly, and it's not guaranteed, but it is possible when the company is reputable and has real experience. The key point is that debt relief is a process, not a shortcut. Knowing this helps you spot companies that overpromise. Number 2, know the 3 types of debt relief programs. Before choosing a company, you must know what type of help you actually need. Most people make the mistake of choosing the company before choosing the program. There are 3 main types. Debt settlement. This is when a company negotiates to reduce the total amount of your debt. You make monthly deposits into an account, and the company uses that money to settle your debts one by one. This can be helpful if you are already falling behind and cannot keep up. Debt consolidation. This is when all your debts are combined into one payment. Sometimes this involves taking out a new loan with lower interest. Other times, a company simply manages your payments for you without a loan. This helps people who can still pay but are overwhelmed by juggling too many bills. Debt management is usually offered by nonprofit credit counseling agencies. They help you create a plan, negotiate lower interest rates, and set up a single monthly payment. You still pay the full amount you owe, but the interest becomes more manageable. Example, imagine someone named Alex who owes on 5 credit cards with different due dates. A debt management plan might combine them into one monthly payment with lower interest, making life simpler. But if Alex is already months behind, debt settlement might be the better tool. Knowing which category you fit into helps you avoid companies that try to sell you the wrong solution just to earn money. Number 4. Watch out for illegal upfront fees. This one alone can save you from getting scammed. A real debt relief company will never demand upfront fees, not $1. The law in the USA says that debt relief companies cannot charge you until they actually settle or reduce one of your debts. Example, if a company says, "We can help you, but we need $500 upfront to start the process," that is a huge red flag. Legit companies will only get paid after they deliver results. This is one of the easiest ways to separate real companies from fake ones. Number 5, check their track record and reviews. Debt relief is not like buying a pair of shoes where reviews don't matter. Here, reviews can literally show you patterns of behavior. When checking reviews, don't just look at the star rating. Look for comments about communication, honesty, and whether the company kept its promises. Also check with the following: Better Business Bureau, State Attorney General website, Consumer Financial Protection Bureau complaint database. Example, imagine you're researching a company with great ads and beautiful branding, but when you check the Better Business Bureau website, you see hundreds of unresolved complaints. That tells you everything you need to know. A company doesn't have to be perfect, but it must show a real commitment to solving customer issues. Number 6, ask the most important question: what happens if I miss a payment? This single question can reveal whether a company is telling you the whole truth. Some debt relief programs pause payments to creditors so they can negotiate. That process may cause your credit score to drop temporarily. A good company will explain this clearly and help you understand the risks. Example, if a company says, "No, your credit will never be affected," walk away immediately. That is simply not true for most settlement programs. Companies that hide risks are companies you should avoid. You want someone who is honest even when the answer doesn't sound perfect. Number 7, understand the total cost. Even though settlement companies can't charge upfront fees, they do charge a service fee after each settlement. This fee is usually a percentage of the debt they successfully settle. Example, if they settle a $5,000 debt for $3,000, they might charge a fee equal to a percentage of the amount settled. A good company will show you all the numbers clearly. Also remember, you may need to pay taxes on the forgiven amount if the reduction is large. This is something beginners never think about. Any company hiding this information is not respecting you.
Number 8, look for certification and accreditation. Good companies are usually connected to trusted organizations. You want to look for accreditation because it shows the company follows ethical standards. For example, AFCC, American Fair Credit Council, IAPDA, International Association of Professional Debt Arbitrators, NFCC for nonprofit credit counselors. Example, if two companies seem equal, but only one has AFCC accreditation, choose the accredited one. It increases the likelihood that they follow rules that protect customers. Number 9, make sure they offer a personalized plan. Debt relief is not a one-size-fits-all solution. If a company tries to sign you up after a 2-minute call, that is a problem. A real company will ask about your income, your expenses, your goals, your current bills, and your actual stress level. Example, if someone earning $18 per hour calls a company and the company instantly says, "Yes, we can handle all your debt," without even asking how much rent you pay or how many dependents you have, that company is not trustworthy. A personalized plan is essential. Number 10, pay close attention to communication quality. When you're working with a debt relief company, communication is everything. You want to see how quickly they respond, how clearly they explain things, and how comfortable you feel. Example, if you call and the representative rushes you, avoids questions, or seems annoyed when you ask for details, imagine how they would treat you later. On the other hand, if they speak gently, break things down in simple steps, and treat you with respect, that is a sign of a company that understands the emotional weight of debt. Number 11, beware promises that sound too good to be true. A scam company will use phrases like, "We can remove all your debt fast," or "You will not face any negative credit impact." Your creditors cannot contact you at all once you join. These statements sound amazing. That is why they use them. But they are not accurate. Example, a real company will say something like, "We will try to negotiate the best possible settlement, but results vary." That might not sound magical, but it is honest. The companies that promise the world often do the least. Number 12, trust your gut when something feels off. This step might sound simple, but it matters. When you talk with a company, do you feel calmer or more stressed? Do they speak to you respectfully? Do they explain things patiently, or do they pressure you? Imagine you were buying a used car. If the seller keeps telling you to hurry and sign, you know something is wrong. Debt relief companies should not pressure you either. If something feels wrong, honor that feeling. Number 13, try a free credit counseling session first. Many nonprofit credit counselors offer free sessions. These sessions can help you understand your options before committing to anything. Example, a counselor might tell you that you don't need settlement at all. Maybe a simple budgeting plan and interest rate reduction is enough. Or maybe you need settlement, but now you go into it with more confidence. This step gives you extra power and clarity. Number 14, understand how your state laws protect you. Every state has its own rules about what debt relief companies can and cannot do. Some states require companies to be licensed. Others have strict rules about fees or disclosures. A company that ignores your state laws should never be trusted. Example, if you live in Florida, debt relief companies must follow specific telemarketing rules. If a company keeps calling you aggressively, that is already a violation. If you live in Colorado, companies must be licensed before offering settlement services. If they are not licensed, that's a major red flag. Understanding your state rules makes it easier to protect yourself and quickly filter out the wrong companies. Number 16, check how long the company has been in business. A company that has been around for 10 years or more usually has systems, experience, and stability. A brand new company might still be figuring out how things work. Example, if Company A has been operating since 2009 with consistent customer feedback, and Company B started 2 months ago with no track record, go with the one that has proven history. Debt relief takes years to complete, so you need a company that will still exist when your plan ends. Number 17, understand which debts are eligible and which are not. Not every debt qualifies for every program. Beginners often assume a company will take all their debt, but that's not how it works. Eligible debts usually include credit cards, medical bills, personal loans, and some collections. But certain debts like student loans, auto loans, or mortgages rarely qualify for settlement. Example, if you owe $9,000 on credit cards and a $15,000 auto loan, a good company should immediately tell you that the auto loan cannot be settled without risking your car. If they promise to handle everything, that is dishonest. A trustworthy company will clearly explain what they can handle and what they cannot.
Number 17, review their educational resources. Companies that genuinely care about customers often provide free guides, budgeting tools, blogs, and educational videos. Companies that only want your money usually do not offer useful education. Example, if a company's website has articles explaining how interest works, how collections operate, and how to avoid future debt, that is a good sign. But if their site only says, "Call us now, limited spots available," they are not focused on helping you understand anything. The best companies empower you with knowledge, not confusion. Number 18, see if they are transparent about the risks. Every debt relief option comes with risks. Some programs can temporarily hurt your credit score. Others might cause more collection calls before the settlement process kicks in. A good company explains the possible downsides clearly. A bad company hides them to get you to sign quickly. Example, a legitimate representative might say, "Your credit score may drop at the beginning of the program, but we will work together to improve your long-term financial health." That honesty builds trust. But if they say, "There are no risks at all," that is a lie. Transparency equals trustworthiness. Number 19, ask if they have in-house negotiators. Some companies outsource their negotiations to third-party contractors. That can lead to delays, miscommunication, or weak results. Example, if a company says, "We have a dedicated negotiation team in our office," that's a strong sign they are invested in quality. But if they say, "We work with partners who handle negotiations for us," that could mean slower settlements or less control over your results. Companies with in-house teams usually deliver better outcomes. Number 20, reviewed their customer support availability. When you work with a debt relief company, you'll want to talk to real people when questions come up. Support matters just as much as the settlement itself. Example, a company that only answers calls from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. might leave you stressed when you need help in the evening. But a company offering extended hours or weekend support understands that debt is emotional and stressful. The more accessible the support team is, the safer you are. Number 21, ask about how they protect your personal data. You are trusting a company with sensitive financial information. That means they must have strong privacy policies, secure systems, and proper data protection. Example: if a company uses encrypted portals for uploading documents, that's a good sign. But if they ask you to email sensitive info without any security, that puts you at risk of fraud. Your financial stress should not turn into identity theft stress. Number 22. See if they teach you how to avoid future debt. The best companies do not just settle your debt. They help you break the cycle. They might teach you budgeting, money tracking, or how to avoid high-interest traps in the future. Example: a strong company might offer monthly check-ins to help you stay on track. Another company might send automated reminders or guides on spending habits. A company focused only on settling your debt but not helping your future is not thinking long-term. Number 24. Ask if they offer different options instead of just one. Some companies only push debt settlement. Others only push consolidation. A great company listens to your situation and offers multiple choices. Example: if you call and the first thing they say is, "Debt settlement is your best option," without even hearing your financial details, that is a bad sign. But if they say, "Let's talk about a few different routes and choose what fits you," that's the right kind of company. You want someone who chooses the plan based on your life, not their commission. Number 25. Pay attention to whether they pressure you to enroll quickly. Real financial help should never feel rushed. If a representative makes you feel like you must sign today only, that's sales pressure, not support. Example: if a company says, "Take your time, call us back tomorrow if you want, we're here to help," that's a sign of honesty. If they say, "We can only lock this deal in today," that is manipulation. Debt relief is important, but it should never feel urgent or forced. Number 26. Ask how they handle creditor communication. You want to know whether they contact creditors directly, how soon they start communication, and how they handle aggressive collectors. Example: one company may begin contacting creditors immediately to establish a negotiation line. Another might tell you to just ignore collection calls, which is terrible advice. A trustworthy company will have a real plan for managing those conversations. Knowing how they communicate with creditors helps you understand how safe and guided you will feel throughout the process. Here is the final question to spark engagement. If you had to choose between saving money or lowering stress first, which one would you want a debt relief company to help you with most?